Hey guys, welcome to the think tank. Good to see you, Shauna, Emily, Dandy, Mexi. So, did everybody have a great weekend? I did here. I had my son down for a visit, and I always enjoy that. Always good to have him home. They brought supper. Mom was impressed. It was like, nice. So what do you guys think? Cameras or no cameras? What are your thoughts? Well, you might be a little surprised at where this goes. I know I was. They have kept so much to themselves in this case that it's unreal. And they did have a small document dump. So I thought we'd go through that while we're going through a little bit of information. So let's see, where do we want to start, right? Where do we want to start? Let's start here. Okay, so there we are. So we got Richard Allen, we got Brian Koberger, we have Libby German and her sister Kelsey German. So time on screen, Delphi Snapchat deleter suspect Richard Allen makes bizarre trial request, and it sets him apart from Brian Koberger. Oh, these guys. Hey, Franky, how you doing? Good to see you, friend. It's good to see you. So YouTube said that they had fixed our little counter as to how many is in chat. Well, no. No, it's always behind. So I'll look and I'll think, is there anyone to say hi to you? And yeah, it's like, okay, well, no, everyone's good. Yeah, always a glitch, right? But hey, that's all good. We manage, don't we? Every time. So the suspect accused of the deleting of two teen friends in what became infamously known as the Delphi Snapchat deletings has called for his trial to allow cameras. So isn't that something? We see Brian Koberger on one side and he's like, no, don't want them. No way, no way. And then you got this guy, which is taking, hey, Perry, good to see you, friend. So then you got Richard Allen, who's like, bring them on. So what do you guys think that means? Are you thinking that if he's saying, come on, we want documentation, that maybe there's more to this than we thought? I hope not. So Richard Allen, 50, was arrested in October of 2022 and charged with the deleting of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. So this was one of the, one of the pictures that they put out. Can you tell me, in all honesty, do you think that his lawyers would unintentionally let him go stand by the public and by the judge seen like this? Do you think his lawyers maybe might have been up to something, allegedly? Oh my good Lord, these cases. Now that there is when they were trying to say he needed to go to a different facility, and the judge just said, yeah, no. So again, we've got Libby German and her sister Kelsey. Very close. And then we have what they are saying is Richard Allen. Personally, I believe so. Am I convinced that he did this alone? Not so much. Not so much. So the two girls were reported missing on Valentine's Day of 2017, and they were found. So the way it worked is they were found on Valentine's Day, and they went missing on the 13th. So the case went unsolved for many years, no leads, suspects of then they were only in grade 8, guys. Allen was named a suspect in 2022 after cops had a breakthrough when they connected him to the scene of the crime based on witness statements and Snapchat footage found on German's phone. And we haven't seen all that. Like, we've seen very, very little of that. So he was arrested back in 2022, and he still says he's innocent, claiming the evidence against him is flimsy, but prosecutors argue otherwise. So many witnesses say that they had seen a man that looked just like Richard Allen in the area that day, and he actually did place himself there at the time of these deletings. So let's see here. And Allen even placed himself. Yeah. He also said he still had the jacket. Well, I don't know if it was him. I believe it was his wife that said that the jacket he was wearing that day is possibly still in that house. Witnesses had said the jacket of the suspect was wearing was covered in red stuff and mud. Police feel they can still pull DNA from the jacket if it's on there. So they also matched an unspent .40 caliber to a pistol that he may have had. So a .40 caliber to the pistol to the crime. So yeah, the bullet was there, and they do believe that his pistol was at home, matched it. So as court proceedings continue, Allen has asked the court to allow cameras in the courtroom. Indiana law used to prohibit cameras from the courtroom, but in 2021, law was amended to allow judges to decide. The request for cameras cites that the judge presiding over Allen's case, Honorable Francis C. Gull, was the judge who ran the trial of television cameras in courtrooms, and she responded favorably to it. The motion also mentions that protecting minor witnesses isn't an issue, as most of the witnesses have aged into adulthood. While defendants typically attempt to stay out of the public eye, which is like the truth, Allen is arguing that since the public helps solve the case, they should be allowed to see it through. So it comes just days after Idaho student deleter Brian Koberger, who has fought heavily over having any kind of cameras in that courtroom. So I don't think that we have an absolute decision on whether or not they're going to be in that courtroom. I don't think that it's been decided. I think for something that's coming up, yes, but I don't think for the actual trial, but we'll have to see. So Koberger, la la la. So Moscow police zeroed in on the suspect at his parents' house. Okay, why are we? Let's know. Okay, so yeah. What do you think? Like, this is the most bizarre move, right? It's the most bizarre move. Hey, how you doing, DB? Molly, good to see you. Good to see you guys. So, thoughts? Should they, shouldn't they? Are they gonna, aren't they gonna? Are the prosecutors going to present the court with Keegan-Klein connection or keep them completely separate? As far as I know, he is not on anybody's radar at this point. You know, that's just a whole nother scenario, isn't it? Once we get into Keegan Klein, because Keegan's trying to throw his dad under the bus, and there's so much going on. But at this point, I am not sure. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Oh, not at all, love. I wanted to ask about William Tyrell. I heard there was progress, and they're trying to charge foster mom. TB. I think it will. I think they will use it for other probable people involved. We're all dying to know that, Perry. Yeah, you know, there's been some really big shifts lately in laws. There's being some firsts done in a very, very long time in a couple of these cases, and it's just like, whoa. Defense could use him as the fall guy. He already admitted he was there. Yeah, he said something about being parked up top in a red Jeep. If I remember this correctly, double check. But do you remember this as well, Mexi? On top up at that highway, allegedly, he said he was waiting there for somebody. He was in a red Jeep, and yeah, he was up there waiting for somebody to come up that trail. So right? That is such a rabbit hole. Could the Delphi deleting trial be televised? Defendant Richard Allen wants the judge to allow cameras in court. I'm almost afraid to show this. Now that I'm monetized,
50 years.
rating me on all sorts of stuff.
Owner Charlie said sell it. This family business keeps prices low at all 26 Central Indiana locations. 99 or Maker's Mark 1.
Okay. Yeah, they're teaching me all sorts of stuff. They are. That's all good. I never mind playing by the rules. Okay, let's see here. So we won't watch all of this.
Coming next week when the Indiana Supreme Court lifts a ban that restricts the use of cameras in the courtroom. Well, this week, we're taking a look at the impact with WRTV digital reporter Vic Reichart. And Vic, you know, this is a long time coming for the state.
Yeah, well, it's sure.
So starting, it says May 1st, the Indiana Supreme Court is giving judges the authority to decide whether to allow cameras in their courtrooms, ending a near total ban that goes back to the dawn of television.
Sure is. Indiana has had a ban on courtroom cameras, near total ban, going back to the dawn of television. There have been very limited times that cameras have been allowed in Indiana courts. And with the help of digital producer Mike Hartz, we have found some of those times and have put them together for a package that we're going to show tonight.
Absolutely. Digging a little deeper, what was something, I guess, that stood out as you were, you know, looking through the archives to kind of see how bad of, I guess, a hindrance this has been for so long?
Well, I mean, there have been so many hearings, so many courtroom trials that we would have liked to have had cameras in. I mean, the ones that leap to mind, Mike Tyson, boxer Mike Tyson, wouldn't it have been great to see, you know, what happened in that courtroom? But of course, they were banned. They weren't allowed. The only way you can get in the
let's
court,
see here.
Generally in the past 20, 30 years.
So it sounds like there was a ban lifted. So it says attorneys for the man accused of deleting Delphi teens are asking a judge to allow cameras. Let me get back here to you guys. The public's thirst for information, in this case, offers an opportunity for transparency and the education of the public, is what Richard Allen's attorneys wrote in a motion that was filed on Wednesday. Allen is charged with 2 counts of deleting in the passing away of Abby Williams, 13, and Libby German, 14. The girls' remains were found on Valentine's Day 2017 off a trail near the Monon High Bridge in Delphi. So let's see. I'm going to do it this way. No. Nope, won't show it to you that way. So we'll do it here. So motion for broadcasting order comes now. Defendant Richard M. Allen by counsel Bradley A. Rossi and Andrew J. Baldwin, and pursuant to Rule 2117 of the Indiana Code of Judicial Conduct, respectfully request that this court issue an order authorizing the public broadcasting of future courtroom proceedings in this cause. In support of said motion, Defendant Allen states as follows. It's just so bizarre to me, you guys. So Rule of 2.17 of the Indiana Code of Judicial Conduct generally prohibits broadcasting, televising, recording, or taking photographs in the courtroom in areas immediately adjacent thereto. However, the rule was recently amended effective May 1st, 2023, empowering all Indiana trial court judges at their discretion to authorize the broadcasting of legal proceedings in their respective court proceedings. Sorry, I just seen somebody run by, which is really odd. But, well, I just got my eye on them. So, yes, the rule permits public broadcasting so long as the means of recording will not distract participants or impair the dignity of the proceedings, and so long as the broadcasting is restricted to non-confidential. Sorry, I don't know where that person's going. Jazzy and Lizzie will have a complete fit here in a moment if he comes to our door. So yes, broadcasting is restricted to non-confidential proceedings. Hold on, I'm going to get near this mute button. Just in case. Okay, I think we're safe. Okay, the facts and circumstances surrounding this case have attracted the attention of the public on a national level, and even the attention of others around the globe. As a result of this attention, the system of jurisprudence in the state of Indiana will be scrutinized in a manner that is unusual and rare in Indiana courts. The public's thirst for information in this case offers up an opportunity for transparency and education of the public in terms of the day-to-day operations in courtrooms across the state. Courts should make sorry, I'm getting distracted. Courts should make court processes as transparent as possible so the average person can witness the judicial system in action. This is the thing. Like, I know I'm not from the US, guys, but not only yours, the Canadian as well. I do not understand why they won't show cases. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't compute. The math ain't mathing up. Math ain't mathing. So courts should make court processes as transparent as possible. A highly effective way to do this is proactively take steps to disseminate information in high-profile cases. This prevents interested individuals from having to search the internet looking for information about these cases, which may come from biased sources that substitute commentary for fact. These, right? Like, we know what some people do to these cases, don't we? So, courting public trust and confidence in the recent article released by Conference of State Court Administrators, the need for transparency within the systems across the country was identified as one of a handful of recommendations to increase the public's trust in our judicial system. The COSCA article was favorably considered by the Community Relations Committee and the Judicial Conference of Indiana, all of which is referenced in the February 3rd, 2023 meeting minutes attached. The recent pilot program in which special judge in the case participated concluded during the spring of 2022. Feedback from participating judges and other relevant professionals includes, but will not limit to, the following. Okay, let's just see here. The judicial branch is the least understood branch of the government. And here you've got millions of hosiers counting on it for justice every year in Indiana. So why not pull the curtains out and just say, okay, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it. The sky is not going to fall since there are safeguards in place. The Indiana Supreme Court is lifting its ban on courtroom cameras and how that could impact future cases, posted April 26, 2023. I don't think it's going to do the harm that they're saying. I don't, you guys. I really don't. The media has been patient with delays in the hearings, and for the most part has been obtrusively and accommodating of the sheriff's security concerns regarding camera placement. They have been professional in their coverage and presence. Comments by the Honorable Judge Fran Gull, referenced in the Indiana Court Times article titled Broadcast Pilot Project Allows Cameras in Court, and this is from March 24th, 2022. Once the hearing starts, everyone seems to forget news media is present. Judge Sean Persons. Okay, Tippecanoe. County Circuit Court. See Indiana Court Times article titled Broadcast Pilot Project Allows Cameras in Court. So, especially in high-profile matters, that if we have those cameras in there to show what is happening in real time and why decisions are being made and how they are being made, I think will educate the public. Number 6, the justice system and general public will benefit from a public broadcast of the pre-trial proceedings and any trial that may occur in the cause for the following reasons. The proceedings will undoubtedly generate a high level of viewership, all of which will offer up the opportunity for constructive feedback at the conclusion of the case. This, in turn, will provide an opportunity to the Community Relations Committee of the Indiana Supreme Court to consider further modifications to benefit the citizens of Indiana moving forward. The sitting judge in the cause has participated in the pilot program, communicating her positive experiences with cameras in the courtroom, and therefore her past experience with the process will instill a high degree of confidence that the process will be carried out with efficiency and will not hinder and or materially alter the proceedings. The Carroll County Circuit Court is an unusually large courtroom, which offers up adequate space to allow for broadcasting and the various actors involved in the proceedings to work in an unobstructed manner. The courtroom's traditional construction and decor also offers up a solemn setting which will further mitigate against individual conduct that might otherwise be distracting to the proceedings. Throughout the investigation in the case, law enforcement authorities routinely sought out the help of the public through press conferences, allowing the public to observe proceedings in their finality will build the trust of the public moving forward. In contrast, any attempts to maintain confidentiality with future proceedings would be inconsistent with the concept of transparency as recommended by the COSCA, the Community Relations Committee of the Supreme Court of Indiana. The passage of time since the commission of crimes has resulted in the aging of the handful of child witnesses that once existed in this case. Therefore, Defendant Allen's legal team anticipates there will be very few minors, if any, who will testify in the trial. To the extent there is a need to shield the victim's family members from the public eye, such an intent is without merit, as many of the family members have voluntarily taken to social media and other media outlets and broad coverage areas and participated in the media's coverage of the investigation over the past 6 years. Truly making a lot of good points. Counsel for the defendant anticipates that many of the witnesses will be law enforcement officials and other experts who will likely testify regarding their specific areas of expertise, and therefore individuals who are generally comfortable in courtroom proceedings. This will reduce the risk of unpredictable behavior from witnesses and other participants. Many of the circumstances surrounding this case were kept confidential by law enforcement officials leading up to the filing of charges against Defendant Allen. Early courtroom filings were also kept confidential by order of this court. Said order on confidentiality has been lifted. Offering up transparency through the remainder of the case will increase the public's trust of the judicial process. In the alternative, Defendant Allen requests that the court consider authorizing the broadcasting of pre-trial proceedings to assess the practicality, advantages, and disadvantages of broadcasting any future trial in this cause. And we have his attorney's signatures. Certified, I have served a copy of this document on October 13th. In the prosecutor's office, the 13th day of September, 2023. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? They're saying that this prosecutor does like the cameras in the courtroom, that she had a good experience with that. And then you've got his lawyers, which is the most bizarre thing ever, saying they want total transparency. So it's like, ooh, okay. Hey there, Blifton. Good to see you, friend. Been a while, my friend. You're a busy, busy boy. I personally don't care about cameras, never watch, like watching paint dry. Just give me transcripts when it's over. Where's that? They could even film and delay the podcast if they're worried about it. Let me see what else. Yeah. Hi, Dave. Good to see you, friend. Okay. So DB, I think all courtroom trials should always be transparent and open to the public in whatever forms of transmission are available. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is he going to play poor sick me? It's a good possibility, right? Yeah. No, Nope, mine are sound asleep. They had company. Let's see here. The judge can always temporarily remove a defendant if they act up and learn to be until they learn to behave themselves in a dignified manner. Hello, Franky. Absolutely. I wanted to see Letitia get handcuffed to the table. Me too. You can't trust the mainstream media, to be fair and honest, in my opinion. That's the way I see it too. It's nice to have things transparent where we as individuals can decide what we think. Bliff done, bliff done, bliff done. I say let one huge network in there and people can watch on their own time. Yeah, then there was the Daryl Books trial, right? It entertained me. It really did. It was like, oh my word, are you kidding me? And seeing him kind of strapped down. Hey, Connor. Aw. Aw. How low is the audio? My audio's cranked. She'll get feeling better right quick. So, attorney for Delphi. The suspect want the search of his home suppressed. Let's take a boo.
Murder case against Richard Allen. He's the man accused of killing Abby Williams and Libby German in Delphi.
Now his lawyers want key evidence against him thrown out.
So what do you guys think? They want cameras in and they want evidence thrown out from the search of his house.
Allen's lawyers claim that the search warrant used to search his home was based on, quote,
He's as tall as Cavill County by the looks of things.
false and misleading information, and that all evidence from that search should be suppressed. Allen's attorneys believe police lacked probable cause to get the warrant.
Allen's.
So in my mind, there's got to be a reason why he wants that thrown out. So what is there in that house?
Trial is currently set for January of 2024. In a separate motion, his attorneys are also asking a judge to allow cameras in the courtroom. They claim the public demand for information in this case offers an opportunity for transparency in the.
Yeah, very unusual move. Attorneys representing the man accused in deleting 2 girls in Delphi more than 6 years ago. They are requesting that evidence collected from his home during that search. They did that search. They got them out of the house. They did give them a search warrant, but I don't know. Why would they want this stuff suppressed? Richard Allen was arrested last October, and oh my word, I personally, due to the 5 times he's told people, including his wife and mother allegedly, that he did this, there's so many things. So why does this guy, is he gonna go for like the insanity plea? Is he gonna, like Shauna was saying, is he gonna act up? Unreal. So arrested for the February 13 deleting of Abby Williams and Libby German, who were found the following day, not far from the end of that path on the Monon High Bridge on February 14th, 2017. According to our affidavit, WPTA in Fort Wayne, Ellen's attorney claimed in a new filing that the search warrant that was issued without probable cause and claimed the search was unconstitutional. They claim Carroll County Sheriff Tony Liggett made false and misleading representations with reckless disregard for the truth. So it was under these were the reasons that they asked for the warrant, and he's saying that, yeah, no, he was making stuff up. So the previous court documents released show a Sig Sauer, I don't know if I'm saying that right, model P226 was removed from Ellen's home, as our sister station, WTHR in Indianapolis, reported. So it is particularly significant to the case as police claim that the bullet found at the crime scene was cycled through Richard Allen's gun. Another document showed investigators believed a pointy object was used in the deleting of German and Williams. According to court documents, an autopsy revealed the girls had been deleted with a sharp object. Detectives also found 15 hunting and utility that were collected by investigators. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, well, let me do that. So we'll go through this way. So the amended motion to suppress fruits of the search of the 1967 North Whiteman Drive in Delphi, Indiana, comes now the accused Richard Allen by and through counsel and pursuant to the I'm going to do this. Sorry, guys. I want you guys to see this. There we are. So comes now accused Richard Allen by and through counsel and pursuant to the 4th and 14th Amendments to the United States Constitution and Article 1, Section 11 of the Constitution of the State of Indiana, moves to suppress all evidence obtained by the defective search warrant that was issued without probable cause in support of said motion. So the defendant Allen states as follows. Defendant Richard Allen has been charged with 2 counts of felony. On October 13th, 2022, law enforcement officials entered and searched defendant Allen's home pursuant to a search warrant, a copy of which is marked as Exhibit A, attached and hereby incorporated by reference. On October 28th, 2022, as a direct result of one firearm recovered from defendant Allen's home, the state of Indiana filed an information alleging defendant Allen committed 2 counts of felony. On the same day, the court found probable cause for defendant Allen's arrest. The search of defendant Allen's home was unconstitutional for the following reasons. Let's hear them. The issuance of the search warrant was a result of the improper ex parte application for the search warrant, in that the affidavit, Sheriff Tony Liggett, failed to advise the issuing judge of materials, facts, and made false and misleading representation, but with a reckless disregard for the truth. Without these false and misleading representations, and omissions, a search warrant would not have been issued. I like to think for as long as it took to get this guy and how quiet they were and how seemingly diligent they were, that this is going to be solid, but we'll have to wait and see, right? The state's probable cause affidavit failed to establish probable cause that a crime had been committed and evidence of a crime would be found in defendant Allen's home, thereby causing the resulting search to violate the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution, Article 1, Section 11 of the Indiana Constitution. The officers, in obtaining and executing the warrant, exceeded the scope of the warrant and the authorities vested in these officers through the warrant, thereby violating the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution and Article 1, Section 11 of the Indiana Constitution. The affidavit submitted in support of the search warrant failed to establish that items to be seized were in the residence or could be expected to be in the residence at the time of the search. What? What? I disagree. The affidavit submitted in support of the search warrant failed to prove particular information that particular items related to the particular crime would be found in defendant Allen's home, but would provide generic information concerning generic items that could be found in the defendant Allen's home or any other home, potentially in Indiana. So they're just saying there was nothing there. We'll see. The affidavit submitted in support of the search warrant failed to connect the generic items for which it was seeking to the actual items that were possibly used in the crime for which he is now charged. So what about this guy, like, admitting what he's done all over the place? You know, they're trying to say, oh, you know, it's due to his mental health. Well, I doubt it. What do you think? Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. So let's see. Under the totality of the circumstances, the search of defendant Allen's home pursuant to the search warrant was unreasonable and thus violated Article 1, Section 11 of the Indiana States Constitution, Section 11 of the Indiana Constitution and the Fourth Amendment in the United States Constitution. Okay, so again, signed October in the prosecution's office on the 13th day of September. I keep wanting to say October. I have no idea why. So, cameras in the courtroom. Allen's attorneys also filed a motion this week to allow broadcast cameras in the courtroom during any future court appearances, including his trial. So, I think this is the one we went through a minute ago, isn't it? Is it the 5? Yeah. Yeah. So, what do you think about this? Do you what are you guys thinking about this? Is this gonna I don't know what the judge is gonna do. This is a tricky one. My back door was open all day again today, and I'm gurry. I have an issue with flies coming in my house. Okay, so guys, let's see. Attorneys for, again, they're asking for everything to be thrown out. 3, 2, one.
Attorneys for the man accused of killing 2 girls in Delphi, Indiana, want key evidence thrown out. In new court documents, the attorneys say the search warrant for Richard Allen's home was invalid, so all evidence from that search shouldn't be used. They also
So we've been through the probable cause and we've been through all of that information. Do you guys really think that there is a chance of them throwing this out, or do you think that there is more than enough evidence to keep that search? Do you think it was legal or not? What's your opinion?
say police lacked probable cause to obtain that warrant. Police searched Allen's home last October and found a gun. The state then filed 2 murder charges against him. He's accused of killing Libby German and Abby Williams in February of 2017. The case went unsolved for years until Allen's arrest nearly a year ago. Allen's trial is set for January.
Yeah, okay, so I just downloaded that into my Adobe, and I was going through it again. And I don't know, how could this even possibly be somebody else? We're back to that again. They're arguing, and I believe the state is too, about hindering testimony or possibility of on witnesses. But in any case, they can do an audio thing only. Yeah. Whatever works best, This guy, they need to lock him down. If that's the case, they need to nail him to the wall. Personally, I think that, yeah, there is more than enough to have that probable cause. Oh, and the Brian Koberger case? Yeah, you see this side here, which is surprising me, they want all of the cameras. Surprising, right? And BK is fighting it at every angle, which I expect more than this. This intrigues me a little bit as to how this could be happening. So, yeah, I don't know if it was alive, most likely alive, that will be going through that probable cause. So here's where we run into trouble, though. He admitted 5 times to his wife, and he was recorded, right? He's on video. So, Chihuahua. I don't know. How do you get past that? New York Post is in the description. Everyone's been in the description. Don't we have a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Okay, the Indiana man behind bars for allegedly deleting 2 girls on a hiking trail in 2017 admitted to the deleting multiple times in prison phone calls to his wife and mother. Richard Allen allegedly told his wife, Kathy Allen, and his mother no less than 5 times that he was responsible for these attacks. And it was after he found them hiking alone just outside their hometown of Delphi more than 6 years ago. So in one April phone call, Kathy, who told the reporters, what? In one April call, Kathy, who told reporters last week that her allegedly, deleting husband was her person. Do you remember that? Her person. So she abruptly hung up the phone when he started talking like this. Carroll County prosecutor Nicholas McClellan wrote in June on June 13th that Allen made the admission on public jail phones that were available to the Indiana Department of Corrections. Investigators had the phone calls transcribed, and the transcription confirms that Richard Allen admits that he committed these crimes. How can it not be? So are they just going to go with, like, he's a wackadoodle? So this is why this happened? You know, just how is he going to get away with this? He admits several times within the phone call that he committed the offenses as charged. The revelation was revealed Wednesday after Allen County Judge Fran Gull, who was assigned to the case after the original judge recused himself. Okay, so this is what? I just have to look at the date of this. So this is back in June 28th, 2023, that this stuff started to break. Okay, let's go back here. So the lady walking closest, that is Libby's grandma. That's Libby's grandma. And that's Libby's granddad. And I'm sure this is going to be the POS. So how is he going to get past? Is this going to be insanity plea? How can it be anything else? What do you guys think about this? It's so bizarre. Is this when he comes out trying to do his oh poor me thing? Nope, just him driving away. Yeah, and I remember that comment that that's her person. I wanna go. No. Oh my word. Okay, guys. That's lovely, eh? Mm-hmm. So, okay, let me come back to you guys. Okay. This will just take me a second. What's going on here? So, there. Yeah. Wackatroll. Wackatroll. So, yeah, why do they not want cameras in Kohlberger's case, and why do they want them in oh yeah, it's probably a bot, guys. It's probably a bot. Just ban when you see that guy, or if you see anybody that's doing that, just go into your ban and remove comments, and hopefully that'll do the trick. Oh, they are. Yeah, Wackatroll. How you doing, Connor? Yeah, they are. Everywhere you go, you know, they get in there. I mean, it's just like, oh my goodness. You look over and it's like, are you kidding me already? So yeah, Wackatroll. So that's where we're at right now. I wanted to do, yes, exactly. Zap them. Zap them. So that's where we are right now. I'll wait and see what happens. I'm hoping we get to see this trial. I'm really hoping. I don't know how much this there's, I think, a lot leaning towards yes. So cross our fingers. I think that we can learn a lot from this case. I mean, and the way it is with all the different questions regarding what happened that night, I think having an actual legitimate source to watch this trial is going to be their best bet. You know, I think they need, due to all the questions, they're going to need the transparency because there's a lot of questions, right? So guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And you know what, guys? That's what I have for now on him. I am going to watch and see if we get an update in the near future. But you know, there's lots happening out there right now. There's a little bit to catch up on after that Delano mishap. So thank you very, very much, guys, for hanging out with me. I appreciate every single one of you. See you in the next one. Bye.